So the internet, of course, is a web, and it's a web of connected web pages. And all of these connections here, these are all done through hyperlinks. So on our current site, we actually don't have any hyperlinks. But if we did have some additional pages, which I'm just going to create right now, we would want to be able to link the first index page to the second index page. And this begins to create out our website. This is done through the creation of hyperlinks. So a lot of times you might see that there's this navigation area and you've got opportunity to visit additional pages within the navigation area of your website. So I'm just going to type in page 1, page 2, and page 3. And in order to add a hyperlink, all you have to do is encase that content within an A tag. And this can also be used to anchor to content that you have here below. And it can be used to bring the page over to a new site. So you can see here within the drop down, there's a whole bunch of options. And the one that we use to link to another page is called href. And then within that href, we're going to have the path to the new website. So if I was linking out to Google, it would be something like google.com. And if I was linking out, I'm just going to copy that over. If I was linking out to another page within my own website, so let's say I want to link out to index2.html. So as long as that particular page is within that same folder area, I don't have to include the rest of this path. But if I am linking out, if I'm holding it within a folder or new folder or something like that, if it's within the same domain, we could find the path of the file this way. But if you're unsure and if you're going to be using the same navigation menu for multiple levels, multiple folders within your website, the best thing to do is usually to include the full URL and path into it. So I'll just show you an example of what this is going to look like. Now when we go back out to the website and we refresh it, we see that we have page 1, and this is going to actually link out to Google. And we have page 2, which brings us to our second index.html, and we have page 3 that brings us to our third index.html. So how many of you spotted a problem with the page 1? When I click it, it actually takes the user off of my current website and brings me over to Google. So generally, best practice is that when you're using it for navigation, you don't have to worry about that, that you have to create a blank page or a brand new page. But when you are bringing the user over to another website, usually you don't want that person to leave your website. And that's where we use target. And we have the ability to target to a blank page. We also have the ability to target to the parent. And this is if your actual content is framed. To break out of that frame, you've got the ability to go to the parent of that framed page, or you've got the ability to go to top, and then by default, it's just doing self. So that's bringing it over to its own. So this is the default, and this is actually bringing that browser window over on top of itself. So it's bringing Google on top of the current page. So we don't want that. And for external pages, we're going to be using blank. And so when we go back over to here, we can see that when we click that, it actually opens up a brand new tab. And that's exactly what we want to happen when we do create out these new pages linking out to other websites within the internet. The idea is if you've got a user on your website, you want to try to keep them on your website. So it's also important to remember to label your hyperlinks properly. So we could do go to Google, and then here we could just do our page 1, page 2, page 3. Now this will simply make a lot more sense for a user coming in so that they're not misled by the content within the title here, and they know that if they click this, they can expect to go to Google. Here they can expect to see page 1, here they can see page 2, page 3, and so on. Again, when you're looking at your HTML code, this content here between these A tags is what's going to show up within the browser on the page itself. So you can see here we've got page 1, 2, 3, and whatever content I'm editing and updating in here is going to be what shows up as the hyperlink itself. So if you had something like this, this is how you would isolate out that hyperlink. And your browser by default, if there's no styling, the default styling is to automatically have hyperlinks in blue with an underline, and if you've already visited the hyperlink, they're going to do this purplish color. So again, this can be changed within styling, within CSS, but for now we're just looking at the HTML, and this is just a default of what your browser is going to do with those hyperlinks. Additionally, with anchors, so the A is actually for anchor, you can also link out to a name. So we've got another one here named anchor, and we've got some more content. I added a whole bunch of line breaks here to bring the page down so that this content actually doesn't show up on the page. And I've added in here just a hyperlink over to the anchor. So wherever the named anchor is, it should bring that content directly to there. So I've got my text link now showing up, and I click it, and you can see that it automatically moves the browser and shows this more content. And also you can see that here within the URL that we're doing this pound sign and anchor, and that's going to bring that content directly on the page. So when it's not visible, you can link to different parts of the page itself by using hyperlinks and anchors.